Welcome to the NBA Coast to Coast podcast brought to you by lineups.com. I'm your host, Nate Weitzer, flying solo today. Josh Lander, my co-host, had a little bit of a matter to attend to. You young fathers know how it is. But I'm going to bring you the usual 4 picks here. Going to do it condensed in one video. We got best bets. We got 2 best bets, player prop in there, of course, a little SGP. And then we got 2 player props to get into for this big Friday slate here. Hope y'all having a great start to the NBA season. And I know the Los Angeles Clippers are not, but I'm going to take them to bounce back after, one poor showing on the road, big time home road splits team. Take them to win here. They are, -9 against the Phoenix Suns. So I think you can also do adjusted line here, along with Zoo to get his double-double, which, did you know, he has happened in 13 consecutive regular season wins for the Los Angeles Clippers. Zubac double-double and 18 of their last 19. So not a huge limb here to say he gets that against a Suns team that's running a 3-man center rotation. Mark Williams clearly not ready for that full-time role there. And I don't know if he's really banging with Zoo, even if he is. So, they're vulnerable. Don't let these stats from game 1 fool you for the Suns. They played a Sabonis-less Kings team. They got down by 20 and somehow came back and won that game. The Kings went small without Sabonis. Drew Eubanks only played 22 minutes. So, yes, the Suns won that rebounding battle. They had a really good rebounding percentage in the second half as they came back from 20. But that's just not going to be the case here against the Clips, against Zoo, who is an elite rebounder, of course. I mentioned the home road splits. LAC went 30-11 at home last year, plus 9.5 net. They were under 500 on the road, 20-21 with an even net. And Zoo at home, 33 points and rebounds in 34 minutes per game. So basically a stat per minute guy. So even if you are worried about this one getting out of hand a little bit, I think Zoo still can get his numbers. He also pummeled Phoenix, 26 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, with 3 of those coming on the offensive end. 3 offensive rebounds per game, that is. Suns allowed the second most points per game to centers last year. And like I said, their personnel hasn't really gotten any better as far as dealing with that guy. And it's just like when the Clippers offense is humming, it's Zoo finishing. Like he's just going to be the recipient of so many Harden and Beal in his revenge game. Those guys penetrating, dumping it off. Zoo, easy finish. Hopefully that gets him to the 10 points here. You can definitely play more than just the money line for the Clippers. I did a -3.5 adjusted line. 4.5. I think that range is definitely fine as far as under the key number of 5 for them to bounce back and get the win at home. They're not nearly as bad as we saw there on opening night. Similar theme here. We got Pistons who looked just awful in the first half, really just the first quarter in Chicago, and then climbed back from there. So I will take them here with the points, plus 6.5 in Houston. And this might climb a little bit. Most of the tickets coming in are on Houston. Everybody saw them go toe-to-toe with OKC, and still not impressed at all by how their offense looked in that game. Yes, they were able to muck it up, but you see OKC struggling to pull out both their wins so far this season. So not the same powerhouse so far as them. Detroit, after that disastrous first quarter in Chicago, 79 offensive rating, they were -60 net. The rest of the game, plus 23 net with a 119 offensive rating. That's what we expect to see from Detroit going forward. They're a good road team. They were 60% as a road dog last year as far as against the spread, and 60% after a loss. Cade and his teammates have played the Rockets well. They basically shut them down in a 107-96 win in Houston last time these teams met. The last 3 meetings have averaged just 3.7 points per game of differential. It was close losses from the Pistons the other 2. Şengün has struggled to score against Jalen Duren. 11 points on 5 for 14 the last time out. And Houston was 11 for 39 from 3 in that game. Is part of the reason they did not crack 100. Don't hate the under here, along with the Pistons covering. I think they'll just be able to match up pretty well. You got Auser probably on Kevin Durant, who's just going to be tired after a double overtime game. Even though he gets the extra day rest here, he's just at this stage of his career, man. He's not ready to go again that quickly. And you get Durant on Şengün. Durant just strong dude, just not going to let Şengün do what he did against OKC when he got those smaller defenders on him. And we've seen the results lately. That Houston offense is just junk. As far as what I've seen, it's just there's no flow to it. Amen Thompson just trying to go right to the rim. That just hasn't been a recipe for success against Detroit unless you can get to the free throw line, which he doesn't very consistently. And other than that, like they lack shooting and spacing. Only Durant is basically their shooter. And like I said, I don't know how much energy he's going to have after a double overtime effort where he didn't look amazing either. And then they're just depending on Şengün, and the Pistons have been good against centers. So I find taking the Pistons here, buying low. This number would probably be closer to 3.5 if the Pistons had not come out flat in their opener. They woke up. They can probably carry that momentum into the next one here. So getting into the player props here straight up, we got Paolo Banchero over 32.5 points and rebounds is minus 114. He's at the Atlanta Hawks here tonight. A team that talk about no defense in their opener. My Lord, 86 paint points. They allowed 83% in the restricted area. And they also only had a 42% rebounding rate while playing at a 113 pace. So stats galore if Atlanta continues that trend in any way. They do have Jalen Johnson back. So, I mean, the last 3 matchups for Paolo against the Hawks came without JJ. He averaged 33 a game, though, and 9 rebounds with a 39% usage rate. Last 2 against with JJ in the lineup, still 30 points a game, still 7 rebounds a game. I am a little concerned about him scoring, about his usage taking a dip here, because Tyus Jones is in there, because Desmond Bane is in there, and he doesn't have the ball in his hands as much. But if this is going to be such a free flowing game, the way the Hawks played in their game, the way the Magic apparently played, they're at a 111 pace in their opener. There's just going to be opportunities for him to finish in transition and semi-transition. It's not going to be the same mucked up Magic team we saw the last couple of years where Paolo's looking at a wall in front of him and settling for mid-range jump shots and shooting really inefficient line. Like, this should be a pretty loose game. And then therefore he's not just like working one-on-one against Jalen Johnson, who is a good defender, but I think Paolo's still pretty good advantage there. If you do want to isolate one of these props, I do think it's the rebounds. I mean, he had 11 boards in the opener, 74% rate. He deferred 2 of those rebounds, and he's just going to be able to live down there in terms of flying off the weak side, grabbing boards, because Orlando has so many capable defenders getting stops and saving him for offense. But the points, yeah, they should be pretty reliable against a Hawks team that gives up a lot of free throws. And that's when Paolo is reliable as far as getting his 26, 27 points, is when he gets double-digit free throws, something he's done in 4 of his last 5 against the Atlanta Hawks. Another power forward here is Julius Randle, points and assists. If you want to add the rebounds here, sure. But we are talking about a Lakers defense he's going up against that is just bad. And now welcoming DeAndre Ayton makes your defense much worse immediately. They allowed 29 assists on 38 field goals in the opener. Obviously, no LeBron James. I mentioned that's going to be an issue as far as the communication on defense. And I don't know what impact the scandal that LeBron is somewhat involved in. I mean, not really his scandal, just his name was in there. I don't know what impact that's going to have on the Lakers. Not really putting that as part of the handicap, but I mean, we've seen the Clippers come out flat for sure when they're mentioned in a scandal. But I mean, it's more about the Wolves. It's more about Randall loving to play this Lakers team. We just saw in the playoff series, he closed with 4 games against the Lakers and LeBron, with LeBron in there, 24 points per game and 4.5 assists. So, I mean, he can clear this with points alone. 18.5 points is the number. And when you add it with the assists, the projection we have is 26.7 points assists. So this number is low. He's gone over his PA prop, whatever it's been, in the 13 of his last 15 regular season games, including the opener for them against Portland, where he had a team high number of passes. He had the team high in potential assists, got 6 dimes on those 9 potentials. And now goes against the Lakers, which are just going to collapse. That defense will collapse, will allow kickouts, which is how Randall gets so many of his assists. They will allow corner threes. And that's where the Wolves are succeeding. Though, like that, they're offensive guys, they're wings. They can hit those corner threes, and Randall will find them. He will also be able to bully his way to the rim against mismatches. You know, it's pretty easy to get a Luka or an Austin Reeves on you if you just run a little action. And the way Ant Edwards opened against Portland, he's certainly going to draw a lot of respect and be able to get the switches, get the ball to Randall, let him go to work. So that is all the time we have here for you on Friday, October 24th. Hope you're doing something with these plays and enjoying the NBA season so far. Like and subscribe to the page. We will be back each and every weekday starting next week with my co-host Josh Lander. And check out lineups.com for all the info and bets and articles we have up on the site. Until we see you next, happy betting.